Hi everyone, thanks for clicking this video and welcome back to the self-learning corner. And if you people are new or here, then welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to talk about the previous year MCQs of kpsc Lecturer and Commerce exam. And here, let's begin this session. First question: the best sampling technique to conduct a tribal survey. And the options are multi-phase sampling, cluster sampling, multi-stage sampling, and systematic sampling. And here the answer is cluster sampling. Actually, cluster sampling means if there is large population, then we will use this cluster sampling. Okay, cluster sampling means the population is divided into groups that may be heterogeneous groups, and they are known as that groups is known as clusters actually. And the cluster represents the population, and the sample is chosen randomly from the cluster, and those samples are known as primary sampling units actually. And the tribal communities are linguistically heterogeneous in their mother tongue. So here this survey can be done by using this cluster sampling method. And multi-stage cluster means that we are applying this in the first stage. We will the whole population into various large groups, that is clusters. Then we would select some clusters by using simple random sampling method. That's first stage. Then next stage we will again select, or we will do a simple random sampling within the selected primary sampling units. This is known as multi-stage cluster sampling. And systematic sampling is also called nth name selection technique. Actually, this method involves ordering of the universe. The ordering may be alphabetical, numerical, geographical, or it is similar to simple random sampling. But instead of selecting the random numbers from tables, we move through a list that is called sampling frame. That means picking every nth name. Actually, it is really simpler than the simple random sampling process. After the sample is collected, every nth member within the population is recorded within the sample. And the next question: dash hypothesis is subject to modification as the investigation proceeds. And the given options are casual hypothesis, working hypothesis, null hypothesis, and descriptive hypothesis. And here the answer is working hypothesis, because working hypothesis is subject to modification as the investigation proceeds. That means which is not very specific actually, and it is subject to modification during conducting the research process. It will change, it will have some modification and everything. So this is called working hypothesis. And null hypothesis means that there is no relationship between two variables, or there is no differences between two variables. That thing is null hypothesis. And alternative hypothesis means that there is a relationship between two variables. If we reject the null hypothesis, then we will accept the alternative hypothesis. Alternative hypothesis always states that there is a relationship between two variables, or there is difference between two variables, like that way. And descriptive hypothesis mainly describe a situation. Actually, it presents the existence, size, type, and distribution of variables. The descriptive hypothesis contains only one variable, and it does not present the relationship between or among the variables. And casual hypothesis means that it is a supposition or a theory about how things interact specifically. Actually, casual hypothesis says that one variable causes another a particular outcome. That's called casual. And the purpose of casual studies is to confirm or reject any given casual hypothesis. In this question, actually, they have asked about the working hypothesis. And the next question: difference between the approximated value and the true value is technically called, and the given options are standard error, sampling error, statistical error, and chi-square. And here the answer is statistical error. Statistical error means the difference between the approximated value and the true value. That means the value obtained from a data collection process, that is approximated value, and true value for the population. And the difference between things are called statistical error. And also, the greater the error, if there is greater error, then the less representative of the data, of the population, and maybe two types of error: sampling error and non-sampling error. And standard error means it is a statistical term and that measures the accuracy with which a sample distribution represents a population by using standard deviation. Actually, it is a sample mean deviates from the actual mean of the population, and this deviation is called standard error of mean. And a sampling error means that if we are not selecting a sample that represents the entire population of data, then as a result this particular sample does not represent the population, so it leads to sampling error. And chi-square test means that it's a statistical hypothesis test and which is used in the analysis of contingency tables when the sample sizes are large. And this test is primarily used to examine whether two categorical variables are independent in influencing the test statistic. And the next question: which test is applied when the sample is small and population standard deviation is not known? And here the given options are z-test, t-test, f-test and chi-square test. And here the answer is t-test. Actually, if the sample size is less than 30, then we would use t-test. And also if the population of standard deviation for a variable remains unknown. If it is not known, population standard deviation is not known, then we should definitely use t-test. And z-test we will use only when the sample size is greater than 30 and the population standard deviation is known. In that cases we will use z-test. And the f-test is used mainly to test the equality of two population variances. If a researcher wants to test whether or not two independent samples have been drawn from a normal population with the same variability, then he would employ the f-test. And if you are using chi-square test for hypothesis test is mainly about whether your data is as expected. This basic idea behind this test is to compare the observed value in your data to the expected values that you would see if the null hypothesis is true. If you have enjoyed this video and if you need more videos like this, then please do subscribe to my channel. Click on the like and subscribe buttons. And thank you for watching this video.